she was not willing really to deal with police or paramedics.
Not many people know that Eminem's ex-wife, Kim Scott, has a very tragic life story. What she went through before Eminem came into her life is honestly shocking. You probably know of Kim from Eminem's disturbing references to her on a few of his songs, such as 97 Bonnie and Clyde and Kim. But while those songs were definitely difficult for her to hear, Kim's problems actually started many years before Eminem ever wrote a bar about her. Kim was born in 1975 in Warren, Michigan, and she had a twin sister named Dawn. Kim and Dawn never knew their biological father. Their mom, Kathleen Daugherty, remarried, and a man named Casimir Sluck became Kim and Dawn's stepfather. Casimir drank a lot and reportedly did horrible things to Kim and Dawn, often touching them inappropriately and forcing himself upon them. When they were 13, Kim and Dawn ran away from home to escape Casimir. They initially went to a youth shelter outside Detroit, but they wouldn't stay there for long. Later that year, Kim met Eminem at a house party. The party actually took place the day she was released from the youth home. According to Eminem, who was 15 at the time, he was standing on top of a coffee table, shirtless, rapping along to LL Cool J's song, I'm Bad, when he turned around and laid eyes on Kim for the first time. He found her attractive and thought she looked older than she really was. He asked the host of the party who Kim was, and after that, Eminem and Kim started to get to know each other. They quickly bonded over shared struggles. Eminem's mother, like Kim's stepfather, also had problems with substance misuse. Soon after Kim and Eminem met, Eminem took Kim back to his home one day after school. He told his mother, Debbie Nelson, that Kim needed a place to stay and asked if she could move in with them. Debbie was happy to help Kim out and agreed to take her in. Eminem and Kim quickly became romantically involved, which went against Debbie's wishes. When Kim moved in, she told Debbie that she was 15. So when Debbie found out that Kim was really 13, she confronted Eminem. She told him that Kim was much too young for him. But Eminem didn't listen and continued the relationship. But the age difference wasn't Debbie's only problem with Kim. According to Debbie, Kim would steal her clothes, break things in the home, and egg on Eminem to get into fights. But despite his mother's disapproval, Eminem was devoted to Kim. When he was 17, he dropped out of high school to pursue his rap career. After Eminem stopped going to school, Debbie decided that she'd had enough and asked Eminem and Kim to move out. Without Debbie's financial support, they had a really rough time. They were very poor, and the only places they could afford to live in were in dangerous neighborhoods. They were surrounded by a lot of substance misuse and often victims of robberies. They stuck together through a few difficult years. In 1995, Kim became pregnant. After she gave birth to their daughter, who they named Haley, Eminem and Kim briefly moved back in with Debbie. According to Eminem, however, living with Debbie became very difficult. He said that she was using a lot of substances and as a result had frequent mood swings. One minute they would be getting along fine, and then the next she would be demanding they leave again. The instability of their living situation and the stresses of early parenthood took a toll on Eminem and Kim's relationship. Their relationship became very on and off, and they would frequently split up. During one of their breaks in 1997, Eminem, channeling his newly created alter ego, Slim Shady, penned the lyrics to 97 Bonnie and Clyde. The song was about ending Kim's life, and with Haley's help, dumping her body in the ocean. It included a line where Eminem asked Haley to tie a rock to Kim's foot before they rolled her off the dock. He actually recorded the track 2 weeks after he and Kim got back together. And in a sickening twist, he got Haley, who was less than 2 years old at the time, to record vocals for the track. He told Kim that he was taking Haley to Chuck E. Cheese, but then he actually took her to the studio. Her voice can be heard throughout the song responding to Eminem's lines. According to Eminem, he played the song for Kim, and she obviously got very upset. The year after that, while the couple was on another break, Eminem wrote and recorded Kim, a prequel to 97 Bonnie and Clyde. In the song, Eminem wrote about driving Kim to the middle of nowhere and ending her life before stuffing her body in the trunk. On the track, he could be heard screaming at a crying Kim, who he himself provided the lyrics for. Eminem said that once he and Kim started talking again, he played the song for her, which convinced her that he had gone insane. But despite the glaring red flags that were 97 Bonnie and Clyde and Kim continued her on and off relationship with Eminem. In June 1999, a few months after he had his first real commercial success with the Slim Shady LP, Kim and Eminem got married. Soon after the marriage, he went on his first major tour, and Kim said his ego exploded. Apparently, he told her that with all the women that were throwing themselves at him, she should feel grateful that he still even talked to her. She started to develop serious self-esteem issues. In July 2000, Kim was at one of Eminem's shows when he performed Kim. Seeing the crowd cheering and laughing and singing along to Eminem rapping about taking her life had a terrible effect on her. That night, she tried to end her own life for the first time. Then, a year later, after many accusations of cheating and constant strain between the couple, Eminem and Kim divorced. Kim fought for full custody of Haley, who was 4, but they ended up agreeing to joint custody. Kim also sued Eminem for emotional distress caused by the songs he'd written about her. In the end, the lawsuit was settled, and Eminem paid Kim an undisclosed sum of money. But after the divorce, Kim began to struggle with depression and substance addiction. Kim and Eminem remained in contact because of Haley, and a few years after the divorce, they got back together. While they were apart, Kim had a child named Whitney with another man. Eminem adopted Whitney as his own. At the same time, Kim's twin, Dawn, was also struggling with serious substance addiction, so Eminem and Kim adopted Dawn's daughter, Aliana. The couple remarried in 2006, but the second marriage only lasted 41 days. After the second divorce, Kim's mental health got progressively worse and worse, and tragically, in 2015, Kim attempted to take her own life a second time. She took a bunch of substances and drove her car into a telephone pole, hoping she wouldn't make it out alive. But as with her first attempt, she survived. According to Kim, she and Eminem were actually close at the time. While they weren't romantic, they developed a tight bond through raising their children together. Kim said that Eminem was very supportive of her after her car crash, and she even said that her mental health was improving in the months that followed. Then, right at the beginning of 2016, Dawn lost her life to an OD. Dawn's OD was very hard on Kim, and her mental health took another serious hit. But she and Eminem continued to improve their relationship, and in 2017, Eminem released another song about Kim titled Bad Husband. Bad Husband was much kinder than his previous tracks about her and served as an apology for the times he mistreated her in the past. Then, in July 2021, tragedy struck again for Kim when her mother, Kathleen, passed away at the age of 65. Kim wrote a post on an online obituary site in which she expressed that she would have preferred losing her own life over losing her mother. About a week later, a day after Kathleen's funeral, Kim was hospitalized after she tried to take her own life again. She once again survived and was released from the hospital a few days later. So Kim has really faced more than her fair share of struggles. She's experienced a horrible stepfather, unstable and dangerous living situations, deeply upsetting songs written about her, substance misuse, the tragic loss of her sister and her mother, and 3 attempts on her own life. That's a lot for one person to handle. But I'd love to know what all you think about Kim's story. Can you believe all that she's faced? Let me know in the comments below.